The latest headline news story, obviously, is the New Jersey drones. It's all over the mainstream media, Twitter, and Facebook. And obviously, this is not something that's organic. This is something that's made to happen on the world stage. Just another psyop, another coded psyop. And the reason they selected the state of New Jersey, as you see here, this is what's being spotlighted. Obviously, there's other so-called sightings all over the United States and other parts of the world. But the number 33, when it comes to New Jersey, is the reason they selected this particular state to headline this news story when it comes to these so-called drones, UFOs, these unknown entities in the sky. Of course, the New Jersey 33 and the Order Out of Chaos. It reminds me, of course, as well of the NHL team, the New Jersey Devils, basically the 33 Devils. This is all coded. Everything is coded in society. And obviously this news story, make no mistake about it, it's meant to happen on the world stage. As you see here, out at sea with these so-called drones, UFOs, unidentified flying objects, whatever you want to call them. And the aspect of the unknown, what are they? And government officials claim they don't know what it is either. It adds a layer of fear to the general public as you see this footage again from out at sea. Here's more footage. These are just copycats in China, and they're not in fear at all with this fireworks show. And people are posting a lot of garbage on Twitter and Facebook. It's like a domino effect. They want to be part of the act. The main thing is, look at here. You have one guy filming, the other guy's filming in the sky. And look, as you see all these individuals run towards him, they're all smiling. They're not in fear. It's all just an act. Take a look at those smiling faces. Guy's smiling, you can see the white of his teeth. These goons over here, the same thing. They're all just being goofballs. This guy you can see smiling too. There's not an ounce of fear. It's just a little production they done to get views on social media. And this is nothing more than a fireworks show. So you have an array of different videos, like I just shown here, out at sea with these lights, which, quote, look more legit. Then you have, again, these goofballs just doing this for clicks. But also, obviously, New Jersey itself, with the actual drones they claim. But now let's get to the actual conferences they're having regarding, as you can see here, with individuals, Representative Tony Gonzalez from Texas, asking questions during this committee meeting. What are these drones, these UFOs, whatever they are? Because, quote, nobody knows what they are, which is absolutely ridiculous considering all the technology that the U.S. government has, and they claim they don't know. And again, that's just adding a layer of fear. Let's take a listen to what is said here.
We don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are. Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
And make no mistake about it, this is a pantomime with these individuals here. These government officials speaking on what's supposedly happening with these New Jersey drones. Again, adding that fear factor to the equation, to the general public, making them wonder, making them think. That's part of the unknown, the psychological aspect of putting fear in the public once again. Now let's take a listen here, Representative, on what she has to say regarding these drones / UFOs.
At this time, we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary.
And the ridiculous claim they don't know what those lights in the sky are. Of course they do. They're the ones behind it. Now let's continue.
They're apparently very, as I understand it, very sophisticated. The minute you get eyes on them, they go dark.
And that was Phil Murphy, the governor of New Jersey, obviously making a ridiculous statement like that. Of course, we've seen a lot of that footage, and the lights don't go dark. They want to be seen. That's why you see the lights. These aren't stealth craft that we're seeing with all the video footage. Now let's continue on here with two different sheriffs from New Jersey, two different cities, and they're going to give their accounts from individuals within their department and the claims of sightings. And this adds to the quote credibility where you have different individuals making claims seeing these so-called drones / UFOs. Once again, let's get right to it.
And that officer did an excellent job. She documented. That's where you're getting the reports of 50 drones coming off the ocean. That's what she reported seeing. She was on duty at the time, and she reports that she saw 50 drones coming from the ocean to the mainland, transversing the airways over Island Beach State Park.
And the second clip from the New Jersey sheriff from a different town. Let's take a listen.
Kind of a tepid response in being with the briefings. I mean, I know DHS is plugged in from Washington to some extent, and our tips are going to the FBI, but we're not hearing much. At the end of the day, you know, in New Jersey, we've seen hundreds of these reports from multiple counties and from sources that are pretty well trained. You know, I do believe that there needs more federal resources, and in order to do that, I think a state of emergency would help that out, and at least urge the FAA to do some type of TFR over some impacted counties where we're seeing the high number, and also would allow for activation of our own Air National Guard here to do some patrol and observation.
And there you go. That's adding to the obvious fear campaign on the public, like I stated previously, calling for a state of emergency when it comes to these ridiculous so-called UFO drones, whatever you want to call them. And obviously this is the agenda. And we all know about the UFO alien agenda and Project Bluebeam. And this is what it's all about, adding to that mystique and also setting the table for a future event, obviously. Now, to conclude, let's take a listen to this Democratic representative, again from the state of New Jersey, and what he has to say in closing.
Where are these drones coming from? Like, what's the origin of all these drones? What's all this activity? People have seen it. The state police have seen them. These are not made up. People are not just making up what they're seeing. Now, listen, some of these things could be confused if it's late at night with manned aircraft, right? I don't believe all of these are necessarily drones, but there are certainly drones out there.
Obviously, these government officials, all of them, are working together to push this agenda, and obviously scripted, like I mentioned specifically, speaking during this conference with these different representatives during this committee meeting. And again, this is really important to mention how this is a pantomime. They're all working together. Everybody you see here, all scripted for the world stage. And obviously, like I said earlier as well, this is setting up the so-called future alien invasion, planting a seed in the minds for what's to come. They constantly are pounding this topic. They've been doing that for the last several years, going back much further, but relatively lately they've been doing it a lot. So expect something big in the future when it comes to a so-called alien invasion.
John chapter 9, verse 25. Whereas once I was blind, now I can see. Now I can see.